Good afternoon and welcome to your favorite program meeting point on the Vision Card this Friday, the 24th of February 2018. On this day, we are going to talk. A lot of things have been happening throughout the week. We have the SDF convention that is taking place in Bamenda in the Northwest region. But we're not going to talk politics on the program today. We're going to talk about the mother tongue. What is the mother tongue? How do we keep it? Is it still what it used to be today, or there are some changes? And if there are changes, what have caused those changes, and how can we bring it back so that your mother tongue becomes your identity? On the program this day, we have experts in language, literacy, and a custodian of culture who will talk to us about mother tongue and how to make it, our cultural identity. With that, it's important we go straight to the program. And I'll start by introducing Dr. Tabe Emmanuel, who is a pedagogic inspector. Good afternoon, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. We have the SDF convention, Congress that is ongoing in the Northwest region with a main opposition party chairman that has been on that post for the past 27 years, but who says today that he doesn't want to be a presidential candidate. Did that, ring any bell in your head?
Yeah, it does. And
yeah.
I think it's a change. And a change is inevitable.
Okay.
And I think a change is also positive. It's like a spice.
Okay.
And I think the young people and all Cameroonians are expecting changes from our fathers. And that decision, I think, is good. Many people will love the decision, but we look forward to see what will happen after that decision.
Okay. Well, it's important to know that elections are going on for the different delegates from regions, and also we're going to have the presidential candidates that will be voted from the 3 candidates that we have there. Madam Rita Fotsoro, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Good evening. So what's made news today at Capital, where we know people are working on the how to write our local languages?
Yes, that's part of what we are doing. Literacy, basically, and then what we do is that we teach people to read and write their mother tongues so that they will be able to adjust with the words and also to develop their countries.
Okay, thank you so much. And away from Madame Rita Fotso, we have Mo Walters. Mo Walters and Olhan on the program today as a cultural custodian. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you, Madame Noblin. The pleasure is mine. I want to say special greetings to my friend Rita. We used to know ourselves in the university preaching gospel, and we're meeting for more than 15 years here. So it's a good privilege for me to say.
So surely you're going to give me something for bringing you guys together.
you are, okay. Definitely I'm supposed to. I have to do that.
Okay, so we have the SDF convention or congress that is ongoing in the Northwest region. Though with all the trades and so on, we still have the chairman succeeded holding his congress, but we also have members of other political parties that go there, to assist in the activities that are going on in that party. How can you describe that aspect?
Yes, I think it's an advanced democracy we're having in Cameroon. We have known those who militate with the SDF to be very courageous people, and have proven again that they are not people who panic. They know what they stand for. And having gone all these years in the midst of challenges, if hosting a convention that had to be a turning point in the life of that party and the life of the followers, it's but normal that any good thing about coming your way should suffer threat. So I'm not surprised that the convention of SDF was being threatened by some people, not just because it's a convention, but the outcome of it is what has never happened in the history of Cameroon and that of the SDF. And we are very thankful to God that towards the end of it, the program is going on successfully. The CPDM delegation who were invited arrived there, headed by Minister Grigor this afternoon, and were well received. Yeah. And I want to believe that other political parties will learn the lesson of Chairman John Frundi of having believed that you must not die, be a presidential candidate. Let power be the equal opportunity, being the slogan of the party, be shared to other people. So I'm very grateful, and we're waiting to see who will be the party flag bearer tomorrow by the end of the elections among the three aspirants, who are all parliamentarians, of course, that I'm very used to. So the National Assembly is once more blessed to have all those standing as aspiring people to be all from there.
Wow.
Yeah,
so it's like, you know, the fact that you become a parliamentarian is, can you say, a leeway to becoming the president of a country?
No, not any type of parliamentarian. All these three candidates have proven their worth.
Okay.
At the level of National Assembly, they can be promoted. When you work well, you pass the exam, you should be promoted.
Okay.
I think Honorable Bandam is coming in, and he's close to 22 years, has been a member of parliament, and he is at the rank of the Vice President of National Assembly. At the level of his constituency, the Momo, where he comes from, he has no challenger. So it's but normal that we should extend his scope now to move beyond a simple constituency to test his capacity at national level. Honorable Joshua has proven his excellence among young people in Cameroon. I think people started talking about Joshua taking over from John Frundi some years ago. Before now, time has come for him to prove that he's capable to be able to continue with the good faith John Frundi started.
Thank you so much. Of course, that is not our topic of the day. We're going to talk about mother tongue. We'll start with the doctor. Can you tell us what is mother tongue?
Thank you. The issue of mother tongue is so controversial.
Okay.
And at different levels, some people think we should not talk about a mother tongue, because we talk about mother tongue means that particular language that the mother speaks, the child should speak that one. And sometimes people think that the child must not necessarily speak what the mother speaks.
Okay.
The environment has a lot to give to the child. It is believed psychologically the child is disposed to learn a language, but he learns a language that is in the environment. So today we are shifting almost from the mother tongue, and we're talking more about a national language. A language that is at the disposal of the child, let the child speak. For example, I'm in Yaoundé, and I'm living in the quarters with a lot of the Beti people, the Wondo people. If my child grows there for years and speaks a Wondo, that's a national language, and I think that's what we encourage much. You must not only speak that which I speak. That is what a school of thought stands for, and that school of thought which is almost winning the ground. But yet, some people are still believing that you should speak that which your mother speaks.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Rita, you have something to say about it?
Yes, I want to agree with him because there are many meanings that have been.
Is it because we call it mother tongue? Or why is it related to the language the mother speaks?
Yes, yes. I wanted to say that we call it mother tongue because it is the first language that the child will learn. So many people have given several meanings to it. The first one is this one, that the first language that the child learns in his parents' house. The other definition is the language identified with a person as being a native speaker to a particular community. We also have the language that the person knows the best. It means maybe you have been going to school and what you have been learning is English, and that's the language you master. Then we also have the last definition that people also give, is that mother tongue is the language that is the most used. Maybe you have learned many languages, and then you are using a particular one all the time. So that's a definition. And as a literacy worker, and being an African, I prefer the second one. That is the language that is identified, with the person as a native of a particular community.
Okay, Walters, I get you now. Moving there, want to say something?
Yes, I wanted to say, I love that expression, mother tongue. It could have been called father tongue. Because an African home is headed by a man. And it is true that culturally, we're supposed a man who comes from Dub like me should get married to a woman who comes from Dub. That was the origin of this aspect of mother tongue, because you don't believe that a mother should come from a different place and a father from a different place.
Yeah.
But I find myself embarrassed to allow my children to talk about mother tongue because my wife from Meta, one from Dub. When you say they should learn mother tongue, I mean they should learn the Meta language instead of the Mindinkia language in Bangolan, which is my principal language. And with the concept of globalization we have today, the proliferation of religion into our community, we are fast losing these issues, and time has come. Somebody tells you he gets married to a man or to a woman based on love. You live northwest, you get married to a woman from the east. Another person from the east married from the center. It might sound well in the terms of cultural identification and integration, but it's so dangerous to our culture, because when you stay in a home, you speak a different language, your wife speaks a different language, you put confusion on children that are born in that home because you yourself do not have a language of communication. So where is the place of mother tongue in this community, in this advent of time we're living? So time has come, we need to caution people who are fortunate not to be married to yet to be careful on what you call love, because love should have boundary. There's no reason why you should come from your village, there are women there or many, you cannot get married there, you skip to marry another place. You might sound well at the beginning, but in the long run, you will suffer. Because you will not be able to communicate with your child privately in the midst of strangers. We are here today, you want to call a child, talk either English or French. Nothing is confidential because of this concept of I am a child of God, anywhere I belong is my home. That is dangerous to our culture. We need to consolidate and preserve our culture, and people should marry from their home, if possible within their quarters, and should not go out of villages to be posing this dangerous problem we have today. It might solve one problem, but provoke 10.
Are we not going to fall into what they call incest?
No, in tradition and culture, even when incest used to exist, you are being watched upon if that happens, because it will consolidate family property first, family identity, and to avoid mistakes. Now we will move out of our villages because we want to avoid incest. You go to another town, you get married there. Because you don't speak the same languages, you are not careful like those who get married now and after 2 days they divorce. You might even meet your own daughter or your own cousin some years after without identifying them because you believe it's a francophone. Whereas you people have a common parent. But if you had one language, you grew in the same community, family resemblance, family blood, family cultural heritage, you have it. And you will not find yourself mistakenly getting in touch or to marry or to have sexual relation with somebody from your family. It has never been happening. The way people of bad faith and tradition and culture has a way in which those people are treated in community.
Thank you so much, Doc. We've tried to, try to define what mother tongue is. Yeah. To an extent, you said the language of the environment.
Yeah.
Okay. They gave birth to me here in Yaoundé, and what they speak here is a wonder.
Yeah.
Can that be my mother tongue?
Oh,
if I want to follow,
if you grew,
I just grew here, but I have my roots.
Yeah, if you are disposed to get that language from early age, that becomes a national language, a Cameroon national language. You see,
it's one of the Cameroon national languages.
Of course.
No, but we're talking about mother tongue and
just
their
like
cultural identity.
What he's saying is already one of the aspects. We should think that if we want to buy that idea, we have to go back to what we were some 30, 40 years ago.
Which idea are you talking about?
The idea of getting married and making sure you are from the same quarter, from the same village, and you think that you can maintain that one, the language of that village.
No, I want
and that's where the mother tongue comes from, as you said.
I'm getting to what you said. You said a mother tongue is a language that you speak, language that is in your environment.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, that my parents, they come from the northwest, or they come from the north.
Yeah.
But I was born here. The language of the environment is the Ewondo.
Yeah.
Does that become my mother tongue?
That's why we're cancelling the fact of mother tongue, that expression, mother tongue.
So what should it be?
I'm saying that at the level of education, we are talking of a national language. We have the law of education.
So where goes my identity? Where are my roots?
Let me come. Okay. We have the law. The 1995 National Forum for Education spells out and talks about our culture clearly. And the 1998 Law of Orientation talks about being rooted in our culture and being open to the world.
Okay.
And now, when we look at our culture, as you said, we have diversity in Cameroon. There's so many cultures, so many languages, many cultural aspects. And with the integration, as you say, we think that at this moment, we should not be talking about mother tongue. It's far past. We should be talking about our national languages. And I'm talking, this is what is in our curriculum in Cameroon, especially in basic education, even secondary education.
Okay.
We're talking about national languages. We are not talking about mother tongue again. I say there are philosophies, there are people who are still thinking about that, but I think it has passed.
Wow.
We are not more at that level.
Rita,
We are
you agree
getting
with
to that
this?
national integration.
No, I don't bet that Jay at all, because talking about national languages
Yeah.
does not cancel the fact that I have a mother tongue.
No, it's not
There are
cancelled.
several national languages,
Yeah.
and I can speak all of them if I want.
Okay.
But I have my mother
Mother
tongue.
tongue.
Good.
And that's why I want to say mother tongue is not a language that I'm used to it or I grew up with it. But we are calling it mother because it's the first language. At Capital, we call it the language of the heart of the person. We identify you through the language. You cannot say I am a Babanki man and you don't speak Babanki at all.
Good.
It means that there's a
Counterfeit
problem.
Babanki.
You cannot say that I am a Nso person and you don't speak Lamso at all. So you see, we talk about national languages because there are several languages in our
Good.
country, but we have a mother tongue. That is the tongue that the language that our parents teach us when we are small children. And then we grew up. If we want, we abandon and I don't advise it, or we continue with it and learn other languages.
Okay, I want to say there's something because he's talking about the education. I also want to tell our televiewers that you see on the screen what is written there is your text messages. Please, we don't receive calls on the program. Send your text messages to express worry or to contribute on the program. I want to ask the doctor. We're talking about mother tongue. We're talking about national languages.
Yeah.
We have to, especially with the Francophone or the French subsystem of education, where they learn other languages, German, Spanish. Does that become their mother tongue?
No.
Because we have those who learn
Excuse
such
me.
languages, but they don't know their mother tongue.
Yeah, that one is a different thing entirely. At a certain level, they were talking about the basics. At the basics, I have not refused the fact, because the children in the villages, they're having that direct mother tongue as they are growing in the villages.
Okay.
But when you come to towns like Yaoundé, Douala, it is true that that influence is right there. We are not refusing it. We are encouraging all the languages, all of them. And we are saying that when the children come together in the same class, our problem in this area is the cultural aspect.
That's it.
That is where the problem lies. We don't want to play with our culture. We want to maintain the culture. And we think that the language is the vehicle of that culture. And we think that when we use the language, we'll be bringing some cultural aspects that we'll not throw away, which are very rich, very, very rich. I think that's where the problem lies. And that's where we are thinking that more emphasis should be laid on those languages, or local languages, as some people call them, in the villages, because they will bring us some cultural elements that we are almost thrown away in Cameroon.
Okay, let me ask Walter, sir. You said something about your home. You and your wife, are you people from Gonkotinja?
No, my wife is from Momo, from Nyen precisely.
Wow.
While I'm from Pangolan in Dop, Ogutunja. And those different backgrounds already is a problem, because my children, they are confused. My wife wants them to speak their language. I want them to speak my language. My wife wants to cook nanteres 5 times, which is not the food I grew up eating. I want to cook fufu corn to be cooked in my house as regular as to keep me comfortable. And now you see the dangers of the advice that my mother gave me when I was about to get married. I thought she did not love me. She told me, this thing you are doing, you claim I am a child of God, I love her. You will regret somewhere along the line. I've looked for a woman for you in the village that can cook the fufu corn I've been cooking and giving you for 7 days. I thought she was just being local. But today I'm regretting. So that's why we're saying that anything so much attributed to excess education is a problem. And how did I find myself in terms of because of school? We're not supposed to make school a lifestyle. The system of education today has a problem. I'm not surprised what the doctor is saying across the because they spend all the time on research. And the research we're entering into risk wiping out the values we need most. We have funds in our country now, initially with our culture, a fund as a custodian of tradition. If he's lucky to be literate, because most of the children that were in tune as funds were the children that grew up besides their father. They knew their culture. They were not so much attributed to school or this white man way of learning. And they grew to inherit. They stayed there in the palaces. But today, all the funds now are the most educated children. They are staying abroad. They can move with white people, shake hands with them. Those are the foundation because of this search for education, which has destroyed our African culture. And today, we don't longer identify ourselves based on the language we speak because we come from a diversified background. We spend most of our time when we've grown up in a strange man land. And when we go home, it's either when there's a cry die or when there's a family meeting. Out of 365 days, very few people can spend 60 with their mothers or their family where they were born and their muntong, like we call in the village, buried. That's what identifies you to a place. But because of religion, because of education, the search for modernism, culture has been buried. And I'm advising that time has come, we need to go back to our culture. When somebody becomes a born again today, doesn't value again libation, ancestral tradition, that can wash you before you get married. There are times you come back, you are laying hands on people, you are praying, they tell you, please calm down. This thing like this, you learn it, you are not born with it. Let's wash you, you say, no, this is paganic practice, I don't want it. And tomorrow, start committing errors and mistakes. And these are the long-term effects. We need to be careful with religion. We must preserve our culture. Be careful with the way children pursue education. When a child leaves after advanced level, you need to monitor that child strictly. Should regularly spend either all holidays in the village or should be married before going to school. Our parents got married and they continue doing trade. Not that you must have PhD before you become married. Okay. And you marry a white person and bring it to a village and causing confusion everywhere. Those are things we need to fight against seriously.
Okay. Thank you. I see it's like, what is he speaking?
But there's something there, please.
Okay.
I think what Walter is saying is just a misconception of the whole issue. Okay. It's a misconception. I think the other side, we think that the education we carry out is a white man education. And we're looking for the white man job. And many a times we are frustrated and our values are no more there. It is not education that is bad, it's the type of education that is bad. And I think that that is why in Cameroon today, looking at what we had laid down as foundation, we saw that we have been training our children for the white man job and giving them the white man education, and our own values were thrown away. And that is why there are reforms now in education to make sure that we change the way. If you look at the way he's dressing, do Africans dress like that? Africans don't dress in this way. When you look at me, sometimes I'm ashamed of myself. Wow. Because the real value is not there. We have kept the values away. And that's why we are thinking that we should bring back the values of our culture and put them into education. And I think education will be worthwhile, what it's supposed to be, what we need for Cameroon, because it's very rich.
Okay, so, thank you. I want to say also that we shouldn't forget that Cameroon is a country that has a lot of local languages. How many local languages? About how many? You have any?
About 270.
About 270. And do you think that I would love to go to class and instead of learning Tewidkum, I should go and start learning Lamso? So which one are we going to teach in class and which are we going to teach?
Okay.
That's the issue.
That's the problem. Okay.
That's the problem.
That's where the problem lies. I was just talking with her before you came to get us.
Okay.
I was telling her that the philosophy which we have and what we are thinking from the beginning, looking at our curriculum, we're taking the country into some sections. We can talk about the far north. You can talk about the northwest.
The far north.
Then you can talk about
the Simi-Bantus. Not everybody that speaks the Fufude.
I understand. The Fufude is there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you have the Hausa.
And you have the Hausa.
You have the Bororo.
Yes. Now we think that the Fufude and the Hausa, those two in the north.
Yeah.
Now, down this way, we think about the Simi-Bantus. We look at the Bantus. and then we look at like the Douala people who could divide this thing in regions and curve out and say, okay, in this area.
So who is going to abandon his or her language?
No, not that you abandon.
So what do we do?
It is because they are all rich. They are all rich. But we were getting one to say, want to use this to help the children. But at the moment, we are still reflecting on that. And today, when you get to class, for example, I went on inspection in the south, and they're asking, which one should we teach? And just ask the children, okay, now we want to speak our dialect. What do we say? Good morning in your dialect. The child says it and tells us how to answer, and the rest of the children followed him.
Because
about 4 or 5 children were doing it.
Let me take Walter's case. He's from Ngokutunja.
Yes.
And in Ngokutunja with
13 villages,
yeah. There are
13 languages.
13 languages.
Imagine.
So who's going to give in to the other person? Let me ask. We're talking about mother tongue. And we say the mother tongue is the first language. You married?
Yes.
Your husband and you speak the same language?
No.
So how do you do?
Okay, good question. I was expecting that question and I like it.
Okay.
What we do is that my husband and I, we promise that we never allow our children to depart from our culture.
Good.
And that means, as language is the vector or the way we teach the culture to our children, we decided to teach both of our languages.
Good.
So I speak my language to my children, and he also speaks the language to the children. And then we decided that as a woman, as I'm the one to follow my husband, I will have to learn his language. Good. So that if we have, for example, to go to the village, I will not be lost.
Because
and my children will not have...
translating everything to a woman in the village. She
yes,
is dangerous.
to avoid that.
To avoid that.
Your
mother greets your wife, you come and interpret it. And it's shameful.
And the fault is yours because you did not take time to teach the language to your wife.
No, you are exception among 1,000 women. The women want you to be speaking their language.
It's the same with me. I'm from Southwest. My wife is from Mancon. We agree. And she's speaking my
It's just a matter
No,
of me.
what we're saying on plateau here is different from practical realities. You might know when my wife tell me, I feel no in the morning, I said no, but that's greetings, ends there. Pertinent confidential issues. A man getting married at the age of 35, starting to learn a language you have never learned in Cameroon. When do you start and when do you end?
And you go to Germany today, you start learning
German.
No, that one you don't learn it because you love it, because you have a goal to achieve. Either to have a resident nationality. As a Cameroonian based in Cameroon, even my own language, there are some vocabularies I've not finished teaching my children. You want me to start learning a woman, or now where do we place the children that are born in between? No. They are learning my language, learning the woman language, French in English in school, English in school. Confused generation. Want to at what age? This thing is so dangerous. We must acknowledge that we have committed the first mistake, because it's not normal for an obedient boy or girl to get married to somebody from a different tribe. Even if your father grew in a different place, he regret one thing, and he will always tell you, make sure you marry a woman in the village, because you can know the language. When they say cry die, you leave Meta, you come to Ndop, they tell you, when you come here for credit, you need to remove your shoe, you need to shave your hair. You say, in my village, don't do that. Will your husband teach you to accept that? He will not accept it. And these conflicts in culture are factors that provoke disorder in society. So we must avoid it at all costs.
I wanted to say, unfortunately, that's what we are living now, but we can change it. But before coming to how we can change it, I want to say this. It's a matter of agreement and understanding. Yeah. If my husband and I will agree that we have to learn each one's language, we will do that with love. Not you were saying about learning German or English or what, not because you love it, but because you are pursuing something. What are we pursuing in marriage? If you say, I love my husband or I love my wife, I have to learn the mother tongue of
that the head of the family is the man's language.
Yes.
That they learn, not vice versa. First language is the man's language.
I agree with you.
Not that I learn your language, you learn my own.
You get basics to
do one with. My wife is already speaking my language, and the children learn it. You want me to be learning our own for what again?
And nobody outside you understood me.
This is not be.
You get the basics.
If you understood me, I said it's a matter of willingness and agreement.
How do you communicate with the grandmothers in her side?
Yeah, it's your
choice not
not
to be able to
agree
speak
with
French
your
or
wife.
English with you. The grandmothers, the grandfathers.
No, then your
in her
husband is
family.
weak. No,
How do you communicate
your
with
husband
them?
is weak. The head of a family
is weak.
The custodian of his tradition, the son of his father. My father visit my house and hear me struggling in the room to learn my wife's language. because we have agreed to leave. Is that not a failure? That's a disappointed son.
It is
Okay,
not.
It doesn't not correct.
I want to ask.
But he should be happy to come into my house like the family head. He hears my wife greet him in the dialect, cook his type of food. That is to say, even though this son went out of our culture, he has not failed the tradition of his ancestors. Not that reciprocal. At the end, you make a mistake and greet my father. You know what I'm talking about? We're living in a community where it's no matter husband, wife, and children, but a global society.
What's the purpose of language?
It's identifying you to a particular place, not places.
That is culture first.
Not places. And language is a means of communication for precise objective. What gives you identity, privacy, is not French, English, no good languages. If you're able to speak a language or communicate to somebody, another one cannot hear. Okay. You say, no, this is really the son, this is the daughter. But when you make a statement, everybody hears it. There's a problem. And except one percent that our children have become robots, it's difficult for the kids we have who in nursery school, they do ICT, 16 subjects in nursery 1, they learn their mother's language, learn their father's language, learn French, learn English, do homework, go to church. No, what are we saying? This thing is heavy.
Can do more than what you're thinking.
No, is that okay? This can do more than what
can do more than what.
But the question I want to ask here is that it is true you're saying French, English, and so on, and like you're saying, you can do more. We're talking about mother tongue, where you have to identify yourself. And we've got where we have families of intermarriages where the children, they become closer to the mother's family than to the father's family because of the way they receive those children in those families. So in that case, I identify with my mother. Should I not also learn her own language? I learn English, I'm speaking English. I learn French, I talk French. So what is difficult if I have to learn my mother and my father's own languages? Is that a problem about
There's
that?
no problem about it.
So what is the role of the parents when we talk about mother tongue and the cultural identity as a parent?
If we're talking about cultural identity, I think I believe on that aspect that it is good for the couple to agree on how to help the children get this mother tongue. As they are growing up, as they are growing, they should get it because it is an identity, as we're saying, in their place first before being a Cameroonian. So it is important. And I think it's also for communication.
Sure.
Yeah, but we should not think much of we want to learn the language because we want to speak secrets. People can speak secrets in many ways, even without using a language. We can use signs and symbols to communicate. There are many ways of communication. There are many ways of helping to hide issues. But for cultural identity, it's very important to get that mother tongue. And also, it will help us get into some elements of culture that we might not be able to have them in English language or in French language.
Sure.
Yeah, there are many issues.
Yes.
With the culture, with the language, you'll be able to get some insight on some cultural issues. So it's very important.
So how do you function? I don't mean at the level of the house because you already said it. They try to learn the two languages. Then you learn your husband's own because you are the woman, he's the man. That's perfect. But I think your husband too would love to know a few words in your own language. Sure, okay, fine. So, but then at the level of, let me take Capital, when you people are doing translation and teaching people on how to write their local languages, what are some of the difficulties that you have on the field?
Yeah. The difficulties are in the urban areas because in the villages we don't have the difficulties that much. It's true, there are some people who say, I'm very old, I cannot go and learn how to read and write my language, but some of them, they agree and they come to learn. It's in town that we have that problem because in town people say, I don't see the importance to learn my language. I'm using English, I'm using French, I'm using German to do a business or another one, but we are also encourage them because if you look, for example, if you look at the case of Chinese, they did everything in their mother tongue.
Yeah.
And now, Chinese, I can say, is the first economical country in the world. Why can't we do the same? We have to learn our mother tongue so that we can develop things in our mother tongue and also maybe one day we will become the first economical community in the world and one of the first economical country because of what we have done. We will pass our culture on to our children through our language. We pass on how to cook our best meals.
Our traditional dishes.
Yes, our dances. the way we dress, it will never be in French or in English. It will be in our mother tongue. If he was talking about the meals, if you want to say, I want to eat jama jama, what is the name in English? Okay. There's no name, you sing jama jama. And then all the spices, you say in your mother tongue.
Jama jama is huckleberry.
Okay.
Okay, so let me, you want to say something?
Yeah, I want to say something. I say because that aspect of culture is my problem.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about mother tongue.
Identity.
Not only cultural identity, I think is the value of culture. Not only the identity. There are many factors.
Okay.
There are many values. What of the economic factor, just like we was mentioning? There are a lot of things that we can get from the culture that can build up our economy. There are a lot of things. Today, okay, let me give an aside. I had to attend a cross-cultural psychology conference.
Okay.
Okay. In that conference, I identified so many people from different backgrounds. They were not psychologists, medical people. And they asked one of this lady who came from Nigeria, I said, we just discovered that in every aspect of life, the cultural aspect is rich. So when we get into the culture, we'll get some factors that we can embrace and change issues in our profession. In our findings, we need to get into cultural aspects. You see, she told us, if the white man is coming today to Africa, it's because they have identified the riches and the values in our cultural issues.
Sure.
So we think that the mother tongue is going to bring us closer to those cultural values.
Sure.
That's what I'm talking about. Not just identifying ourselves, identification is important, but helping us to get the riches of our culture that will make us different. People can come to buy these issues from us
Yes.
as we are buying from them.
Yeah, I just want to testify that I know a family. Because Walter's problem is the fact that he got married to somebody who is from another place, who speaks another mother tongue. Once I know a family who also is a mixed marriage. They don't have the same mother tongue. But the wife every day pleads to the husband, please, can you even speak your dialect to these children? Can you do, the man speaks only English and even Pidgin. In that case, who are you blaming? She herself is struggling to learn the husband's language so that she can even teach to the children. But then she's in town. How will she learn? She's not in the village where, everywhere you pass, they will try to speak it. And there is a problem. Even in our villages, except maybe places like in Banso, where there's so much love the alarm, and maybe, I don't know, Walters. Yeah, but then... we have villages. I want to talk about a case of my own place where I come from. Where you go there, you greet a child. When you greet a child, what the child answers you greet the child in the dialect. I can say Afono, Afozi. The response is good afternoon. And then the next sentence the person gives you is in Pidgin.
Okay.
Then it's not like they're even speaking communicating in good English, no? They give you Pidgin. Then it is like when you start speaking your dialect, it makes you too low and so on. However, we came about to the program because this week we observed the National International Mother Tongue Day. So we're expecting that they should give us the report that we did when it was the time to celebrate the mother tongue. That report was done to us on the program by Priska Ngase.
Also known as first or native language, one's mother tongue is very important for an overall development. It is the initial language one grows up knowing. Being fluent in your native language is beneficial in many ways. One does not only get connected to its culture, but also gains cognitive developments. It is a clarion call for everyone to know his or her mother tongue, for it gives our basic identity. It also remains one of the most powerful tools used to preserve and convey culture. One should be proud to speak his or her dialect anyway. A good mastery of the mother tongue helps one in learning other languages. It is for reasons like these that parents are advised to frequently use the mother tongue at home to their children. That will also ignite a strong family bond.
Of course, they ended it by saying a strong family bond, Walters.
I love it so much, and
Okay.
I think after this program, so many things will change.
Wow.
And my position remains the same. I'm very proud of these children, the way they are speaking. Nobody is speaking a sentence and mixing French or English. That's to tell you that they are rooted somewhere. And we need to do everything possible, no matter what we strive to do. A man without a cultural identity do not have any identity at all, because cultural identity is the mother of all identities. For security purposes, when you find yourself running up and down in the midst of what we have always gone through in Bamenda, and somebody tells you, Putiba, he's telling you don't run, you feel secure immediately, even if there were thousands of military chasing you. But you hear one person among them telling you, Putiba. I've witnessed that here at Carrefour, Billy. At one time when there were a serious crisis among the Anglophone quarters here in Yaoundé, somebody told me not to escape in the dialect because from my village that if they are catching me, I should not run, I should not fear, they will leave me after. And they put me in a truck and removed me and dropped me after. And the only thing that guaranteed me to stand is because he spoke my language. I knew that the person who speaks this language cannot kill me. That's to tell you that language has power. It makes you feel secure in any environment you hear it being spoken without any panic. You don't doubt the identity of the person that speaks the language. You say automatically, if somebody can talk to this extent, he's part of me. And we need that. And doing so will not entail killing some of the languages. Basic education. In our time in primary school, you could have never had somebody from a different tribe teaching class 1 in primary school. It was a taboo. I went to CBC primary school, but then there was no nursery school. The class 1 and 2 teachers were people from the village. They teach you how to count more, but meaning 1, 2, 3 in the dialect first before translating it in English. But now that we carry people who do not even know the dialect because the school must be one to go and teach other places, creating problems. So basic education is an environment where more emphasis should be laid, because once you know the dialect at that level, you can learn all those multiple languages at other levels without having any problem.
Yeah,
That's
that's
correct. What are you insinuating? Should we divide, send people to their villages?
At the level of basic education, mix, particularly send them to teach in their villages, because a class 1 teacher who is teaching in his village can understand that this child has never heard good morning somewhere and will know how to mix the language, his mother tongue, together with the English language to transmit knowledge to the child. The child will get it faster.
Well, there's an element of truth. They were encouraging the teachers also to learn the languages. Learn the languages. I might not be from that place, but if I learn the language, I will help the children to learn. What you're saying is true. The mother tongue is very good, but we think all of us should be very free, open to learn these local languages in Cameroon.
Okay, thank you. Hello, I'm Omaru Kadri from the northern region, and I'm a student of GBHS Marwa. I think that everyone has to learn his mother tongue. It is important to speak it. Of course, that's what we're saying here, Omaru. This other one says, from Brian, if I can learn, what if I can learn the 2 languages?
It's a plus. If you can, because for me to learn is hard, eh?
No, it's because you have a problem. That's why I don't want to even. Yeah, good evening. That's a very interesting topic. I'd like to ask Walter Small this question. What do you mean by a strange man's land? Probably that's what he wanted to write. And what negative impact does religion bring to mother tongue?
Yes. Let me just
Briefly.
thank the viewer. Religion, most religious practices, particularly with these new churches coming in today, they tell you if you are in this place and you get married to somebody who is not inside this church, it means you are married to a pagan or to somebody who is not a born again like you. And in so doing, they narrowed the scope, change mentality. Many of them see our culture like witchcraft. And when they see culture like witchcraft, somebody start going to a church, he comes and start calling the mother or father an unbeliever, a pagan. Those are some things that used to disintegrate children, not to get closer to the parent. And when a child cannot get closer to the parent, because today many believe in their pastors, just like women who believe in their pastors more than their husbands, you cannot learn the language well. If we do not come from one place and you don't believe so much in me, the more you come closer, the more you will know it. But some of religions have helped to scatter families apart. That's why I say they are creating a problem. Not in all cases.
Thank you so much. Good evening. I just want to say it is a wonderful topic. You people are talking there. Very, very interesting. And you have a cross-section of guests that are giving us what we wanted. But another issue is the fact that English, and the fact that some people feel that English is a problem on our culture, our mother tongue.
Yes.
Yeah, English is a negative impact on the mother tongue.
That's true.
What do you say about that, Rita?
Yes, English is
Whose fault? Is it my parents' fault who didn't teach me the mother tongue, or the teachers where I go to school and they teach me English?
And exactly, that's what I wanted to say.
Okay.
English is really a problem. Why? Because students don't master that English, they don't speak it at all. And unfortunately, nowadays, we see people who say they are English people, speakers, but they don't speak their languages. And now they don't have any language and they don't have any culture at all. So English is not good. I don't know, I don't want to say it's not good at all, but it is a hindrance to mother tongue because, like, see, for instance, when I was in class 1, I used to speak my mother tongue. Then my teacher, she called my parents to school and she said, stop talking
the dialect
to
in the
your
house.
child because she's transferring the mother tongue into her yes, no, not into class, but into the assignments. So she says, stop talking. And I say, I want to understand that is what happened to most of the people who are talking now. And talking about English, that's maybe the same way English is hindering the mother tongue now. And I said, we have the solution to that. And also to my friend Walters here, at Capital we have what we call literacy classes. We have holiday literacy classes, we have short-term literacy classes. You can learn your mother tongue, you can learn, teach your children your mother tongue, or send your children there so that you go and learn. And there they will not only learn how to speak, they will learn all about the culture, how to dance, how to speak, how to behave, what are the different events that we have culturally, and so on and so on. So we should not only say that English is a hindrance. Yes, it's a hindrance, but we have to work so that that hindrance should no more be a hindrance, but a plus to what we have.
Thank you so much. Hello. I am Divine. Please, I want to say that in our home, our parents instituted that while back at home, the only thing we speak is our mother tongue.
Good.
And I want to say we are succeeding. So you can use that as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Divine. Thank you for that one. What do you speak at home, Doctor?
At home, I speak English.
See,
And I speak English,
that's true.
And I speak the dialect just once in a while.
You see?
My wife does it more. That's the truth about it. She does it more to the children than me.
Is she from the same?
No, I said she's Mancon.
Okay.
I'm Bayangi.
So the children are speaking Mancon more than Bayangi.
And she even teaches them the Bayangi than me because she knows it.
No.
She does it.
That's the problem.
You made a meeting us, I hope my wife is watching. She should learn my language very fast.
Yeah, she's teaching even my mother tongue than me to the children.
So that's the challenge.
Doctor, you see, you have a problem as well. So after this program, you're going to change. I hope so.
The point is my skill didn't work. I'm very busy. I come in sometimes a bit late, and because of that, she has more time.
Available.
Being a teacher, she has more time, and it's always in the house. But when I'm there, when they come, they greet. I know she has made them. They must greet me in the dialect in the morning, and then when they greet, I speak with them.
Each time you want to talk to them, because that's exactly those are the type of parents I described here. I didn't know that doctor was feeling guilty, you know. The wife begs the man, can you speak the dialect to these children? Can you speak the mother tongue? They want to know it.
Yeah, that's
but the man say, no, I don't
understand.
have the time. I don't have the time, but by the time I talk to a child doesn't understand is a problem to me. Well, it's quite a shame and disappointing to see the way some parents treat their children. Mother tongue is a myth in Cameroon. My argument is based on the fact that those who expect to set example are those who discourage the youth or the children from speaking their mother tongue. I am bitter because I got a problem in Douala when I was trying to express myself in my mother tongue, but it was ignored by my own brother. So such things, you know, you go, you speak to your own brother in the dialect, and then the person, you know, doesn't look at you.
Feels like primitive.
Yeah, you're primitive because you're speaking your mother tongue. So probably the doctor will, first of all, yourself being a case, you're going to tell us a lot here. I am Rose from Yaoundé. I think it's very important for parents to really put enough effort to teach your children their mother tongues, as well as the government implementing rules on how in each region at least 2 or 3 mother tongues should be taught in different schools. Is it possible?
Yeah.
Because I want that mine should be. Walters wants that he should be. You know?
That's why I'm saying that there is that aspects of the mother tongue also.
Okay.
It is in the mother tongue we learn tolerance. You understand?
Okay. Walter say Walter, how do they call table in your dialect?
Tepre.
That's English.
Tepre.
You bear with me, that's English, like you say. It's just that they just wanted to, they don't want to pronounce it well. But there are certain things we just want to agree here that there are certain things that came with English. Probably when we had, when our great-grandparents were, there was nothing like a table. They could even, I don't know, might be in my own dialect, how they could call it ukun, where you eat, you can sit and eat and so on.
It can be anything.
Yeah, it can be anything. Yeah, so there are also a lot of things that are coming with English.
More vocabulary coming into
English, and they're trying to match up. Because if not, we didn't have televisions in those days. So how do you call it television? Mother tongue. You have to adapt certain things. In
my dialect, all television, radio, they have one vocabulary.
Okay.
So for all of them.
Okay. Can you just tell your children something in the dialect?
My children?
Yeah.
Anything?
Anything in the dialect.
In the dialect, okay. Manchoko sari metro.
Meaning?
Mean that they should stay well in the house and come.
Okay, so as a pedagogic inspector, now let me tell Walters, briefly, 2 seconds. What are you telling your wife in the house, in the dialect in Bangka?
Yes.
Good. Tell her.
Yeah. Mendenu kuku ntikeze misona sona ngone pang pungula mungwefi, so you have a challenge.
You see, he's just adding English.
So that she should understand well. That's our style. That's our style. I'm telling her that if she doesn't learn the dialect well, she will push me to make another decision because every woman person wife here knows there was one dialect.
A last word.
So I think we want to thank our viewers and to encourage every Cameroonian to make sure that we do everything possible to consolidate our cultural identity through language, because language is power, and our mother tongue, whether father tongue, the one that the man comes from, it should be the identity in the home. Wives, to make your home successful, know your husband's language. That's
last word, Doc.
Okay, I think that I encourage everybody because there are riches in our culture. There are many things that are buried and we cannot bring them back. So let's go back to our mother tongue and get the values of our country and our villages, which is our identity.
Madam Rita, few seconds, 2 seconds, something in the dialect.
Okay, me yekabe a mensumole ni rile din lama potma hop me sinle ma gwe in Senghor.
Wow, that is Bassa.
Bassa,
right.
yes.
Okay, conclude.
Okay, my conclusion is that according to our topic, mother tongue is very important for us, and to first of all to communicate our cultures to our generations, to preserve our cultures and to nurture them. So we have to give great values and also respect the language of our brothers and sisters.
Thank you so much. Myself, I want to say, I've been one, I've been a no chong. The chasing it in Norongo. So stay well. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned and have a blessed weekend on Vision Cat. That's my main point. Goodbye.